I don't know about you, but I have definitely been feeling like I'm living in some post-apocalyptic world that I've only seen in a movie. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am continuing my mask making saga by turning the sleeves of the shirts that I made into masks. I realized that I could do this, so I'm going to keep going and maybe just talk a little bit about my coronavirus situation, how things developed for me and how I'm dealing with it. Maybe you will find this kind of relatable, or maybe it might be interesting to see how other people are doing it. So here goes. I had heard of the coronavirus happening in China, obviously, around the new year, but I think that early on they weren't really stressing how contagious it was or how dangerous it was for people, how deadly, or maybe they did and it just, I don't know. There was a lot that wasn't really connecting for me and I didn't really see it as much of a threat. I remember in early March, I was talking to one of my coworkers and she said that she was really worried about it. She was kind of worried about what it was going to look like for us with our work, being in schools, working with the youth. Yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of blew it off. I was just like, I don't know, it's just an illness. We're going to get over it. You know, the people who are sick are going to get well. It's going to be fine. I thought that the media was kind of blowing it out of proportion. And then I think it was March 12th was our last day of school at the actual sites. And we were told not to return back to the school sites in order to curb the spread of the infection. Then I started watching more news, and it wasn't that long ago, but it just seems like, it also kind of seems forever ago. It just kind of hit me how serious the virus was. I could see how quickly it was spreading in the cities, and I just felt, I don't know, I think I felt a little bit maybe short-sighted, a little bit dumb even, to think that the coronavirus wasn't going to be a threat to our everyday life, that we were going to get over it really quickly, it wasn't that big of a deal. And I also admit that I didn't realize what a threat this was to people who were immunocompromised or older people, and how scary that must be for people who are kind of going through those situations, especially considering that in my family, I have a high instance of leukemia, and people with leukemia are immunocompromised, especially when they're going under treatment. It seemed just kind of silly for me to be able to overlook that. There are people going through chemotherapy or taking necessary surgeries who need to be in the hospitals. I really regretted not taking the threat more seriously in the beginning. Yeah, it was kind of hard to admit that I was wrong. Or it wasn't hard to admit that I was wrong. It was pretty easy to admit that I was wrong once I realized what was happening, but I think it was kind of a blow. I started working from home about 5 weeks ago. And at first it was kind of tough because I don't really have my own private space. I'm in the living room most of the time, or I guess this is technically, I'm usually working from here. It's technically like the dining table situation. My partner and I both take a lot of calls during our work, and so he is in the bedroom and I am down here. This works really well for me, but I feel bad for my roommates who maybe don't get to use the space during the day while I'm working. At first, it was physically difficult for me to transition because obviously, you know, when you're working from home all day and you're not allowed to leave the house, you're just sitting there in like uncomfortable chairs. Like these chairs are meant for sitting and eating a meal for like 30 minutes, not working for 6 hours or 7 hours or 8 hours in a row. And my body started getting kind of sore, really, really tired, even though I wasn't really leaving the house or exercising that much. And I was eating a lot, like snacking a lot, you know, eating all the quarantine snacks. Yeah, I just started feeling really like blah. That was kind of a low for me. So I decided to kind of see what I could do with this time, really maximize it and use it for the most that I can. And I decided to take a little bit more active role in watching what I'm eating, on exercising a little bit more, really taking stock of all the things that I want to do every day so that I can stay healthy and know that when I'm walking around and I'm not doing a commute, I'm not, you know, going to the store as often as usual. I know that when I'm not so active outside, I'm burning a lot less calories. Meanwhile, I'm eating so many snacks and all the food because that's the thing that's really comforting in that moment. And I realized that if I want to stay healthy and not gain a ton of weight during this crisis, which would be due to stress, really, I'm going to have to watch what I eat, really focus on healthy food, focus on healthy habits. So I decided to lower the amount of calories in my morning shake. I've always had a good meditation practice in the morning, but I decided to start waking up a little bit earlier in order to have a little bit more space around the meditation practice that I have. I also started doing physical therapy exercises to rehab my knees, which have been a little bit painful lately. And I think making that plan and following it has been really great. I think right now, so one thing in my neighborhood is there have been a lot of sirens lately. You know, it's kind of scary to think about, even just in this neighborhood, I don't know who's sick, who's suffering. Especially in the beginning, I think when things started getting really serious in DC, I was hearing a lot of sirens and it was pretty scary. I don't know about you, but I have definitely been feeling like I'm living in some post-apocalyptic world that I've only seen in a movie. It's crazy, like even watching the news every day and then telling us what's going on every day and how serious it is. It just, I don't know, it really doesn't really feel real. Even the fact that I'm sitting at my dining room table, like making tons of masks, I think is like kind of surreal. Yeah, this is me just trying to make the most of it. I feel really lucky that Ryan has been here with me throughout the whole lockdown. I know there's a lot of people who are not able to be with their family and loved ones during the lockdown, and I can only imagine how hard that is for them. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be able to see my family that lives in Korea and my family that lives in Germany again. But I'm also really curious to see how this whole crisis changes global society forever. I think that a lot of companies, for example, will be a little bit more amenable to working from home, because I think we've seen how productive remote working can be, at least for some people. Not every job can be done from home, but some of them can be. And I really am loving the reports that I've been seeing that pollution is down in a lot of major cities, and that is saving a lot of people from respiratory issues. There's probably a lot of other benefits in terms of pollution, like our waterways, but however much we take from this, whatever we learn that really sticks is still yet to be seen. If history does one thing really well, it is forget how things are. I mean, unless we keep telling these stories and people keep listening to them, we're going to forget about everything that happened, how crazy this was for everybody, how many people have died so far. I think the count now is over 60,000 Americans have passed away already from issues related to the coronavirus, and that's only the people that we know had it. So many people are losing their jobs, and who knows, you know, if the government isn't taking care of the small businesses, who knows how long it's going to take for all those people who lost their jobs to get new ones after we're finally in the clear and people can kind of go about their normal lives again. Although I do admit that normal is going to mean something completely different by the time things get started up again. I'm really grateful that I've been able to keep my job, because I know that there are a lot of people who have lost their jobs, and a $1,200 check from the government is only going to take them so far. This is huge. There's like 24 million people now who are filing for unemployment. As much as I'd like to be happy about certain developments that have happened, like people who are able to connect online a lot more often than they used to, celebrating people who are stepping up, who are stepping up as first responders, which is amazing. Just putting yourself right there in the line of fire, where you're so susceptible to getting the disease yourself, and then also maybe putting your loved ones at risk, takes so much bravery, and that's really amazing, something to celebrate. I feel like every day is just kind of survival. It's really hard to just like let everything kind of sink in. I think it feels really heavy talking about it right now, but on the day-to-day, I think it's just like, okay, I'm focused on whatever it is that I'm doing that day. And honestly, lately, I've been really busy working full-time and producing a video every single day. I have basically like no time, so I'm able to kind of get through this like this, and how I described before with having a really regimented schedule, but I am a little bit afraid that in the future we're going to look back at this time, it's just going to be really, really sad. So sorry that this video is a little bit dark and depressing, but I do think that we're going to get through it. I think that we're going to learn some really great lessons about environmentalism, about the connection to the fact that we're eating animals and getting a lot of diseases from them. I hope that fewer people are going to be eating meat because of what is happening, especially considering how we're just now realizing what a threat the meat industry is to the people who are working for it. For example, Smithfield Farms is closed because people who are working in the meat processing plants are getting really, really sick. I mean, if you've seen any videos from those places, they're just absolutely disgusting. You know, meat production, eating meat isn't just bad for the animals, it's also bad for the people. So I'm really glad that that's what's going on there. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the long term. Right now I'm just grinding, making the most of, you know, what I have, being really grateful for what I have, being understanding of people as much as I can who are having a hard time, being understanding of all the sirens that are happening outside the house. Alright, I'm gonna finish up these shirts, but thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and if you have any stories that you want to share or any reflections on anything that I've said, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment box below. If you want to hear more from me, please subscribe. I'm making new videos every single day and uploading them by the end of the day. And like this video if anything has been relatable to you at all. I think tomorrow I'm going to make a video that's a little bit more uplifting. But with that, just want to say thanks for watching, and bye.